your screen on the mat so I can see you, but if I can't, you can see me, hopefully. I'm using the edge of my settee as my wall. So you can see that I've got my settee here. I'm going to leave the chair back here. We will come to it. Now, when you lie down, please have a head support. That can be a foam yoga block. It can be a pillow, a folded blanket, a rolled mat, whatever works best for you. So I'd like you to start with your soles of your feet to your wall and the hands behind you. Okay. When we work with the ground and using the wall, we can really get an understanding of how you can work with your legs. It's really very good. If you have, this is it for now. So the soles of your feet to the wall and your knees are slightly bent, first thing. If you can turn your palms to face the wall, you turn the palms forward. If it's too much to turn the palms forward, just have your hands wherever it's comfortable that you can support yourself on the floor behind you. Okay. Then from here, we want to pick the tailbone up and tuck it forward. So we lead the tail forward before we lie down. That's important. We do that because then we want to keep the length in the lower back region. Otherwise, what happens is we curve a little bit too much around the lower back waist, and that's not healthy for our back spine. So if you do that a little more, pick the tailbone up and bring it forward, you will end up lying down with bent knees, which is what we want. Okay, off we go. Take yourself to the floor. And again, as I said, have head support. And that can be either a foam block, nothing too hard. I'm just using another yoga mat as a rolled up under my head. So we're lying here with the knees bent and the soles of the feet up the wall. And you can put your palms around the pelvis and notice how when your knees are bent, the pelvis, the hip bones tend to come towards the abdomen. And that's what we want to do, is we want to lift the front body to come up and we want the back body to go down towards the heels. So from here, we're just going to lie here for a moment, leave your hands on your pelvis, take the elbows out and have the soles of the feet to the wall. So you've got this lovely support. As you press the soles of the feet into the wall, you'll feel the tailbone connecting further into the ground. That's very, very good for lower back alignment and for the abdomen to become soft, because this is where, when the abdomen's soft and spacious, you can actually get in touch with your breath. It resides here somewhere. And when we breathe in, we normally expand on the abdomen, and when we exhale, we relax and soften the abdomen. So close your eyes and just stay here for a moment. Observe. Observe when you inhale, there's a rising and of the abdomen, and you'll feel, I'm hoping, your back arch a little bit, natural curvature. And when you exhale and you follow your exhale out, the abdomen goes towards the back body and the back body goes towards the ground. It's like a nice spinal wave coming through, just very gentle. So really tapping into this feeling of connection through your feet, your tailbone, and your breath for a few more moments. Feeling the abdomen expand on your inhalation and feeling how, when you expand, lying on the floor, you can feel the connection of not just the tailbone, but also perhaps you might feel it higher up towards the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, observing and noticing, releasing how the abdomen goes towards the ground and softens. Let's stay there for another moment. Exhaling there. And then very slowly, we're going to start moving the heels to the wall without lifting your head, or without lifting or disturbing the tailbone. Lying still, staying connected, feeling the tailbone on the floor, feeling the back of the head, the shoulders on the floor. You simply move the heels to the wall and straighten the legs. And I'm hoping when you did that, you would have felt the front body move up and the back body move down. You want to get the heels on the ground. They stay grounded on the floor. They didn't rise up the wall. You keep your soles of the feet pressing, the heels on the floor. You simply press the floor with your feet and straighten the legs and feel this gliding extension through the legs. Feel how the back body lengthens and the front body expands. Now stay here for a moment. Keep your palms on your pelvis, and I'd like you to find four corners of your feet. Press your inner heels into the wall, your outer heels, your big toe mount and your little toe mount. We're actually doing mountain pose on the ground. We're doing mountain pose on the ground. So as you press your feet, go to the four corners, distribute the weight evenly, inner heel, outer heel, big toe mount, little toe mount. Feel the sensations working through the legs. Feel the contraction around the pelvis. Feel what's happening through your spine. We're just expanding and growing taller internally as we keep pressing the feet evenly into the wall. Keep that going. Use your breath. Inhale, take the arms up. As you take the fingertips to the ceiling, move the shoulders down. Palms face one another. Okay, so the palms face one another as the feet press. Rotate the arms so the palms now face the wall. And from here, you take the arms overhead. You keep pressing the heels and you take the arms overhead. You keep taking the arms overhead until the back of the arms reach the ground. Now, because we have tightness around the shoulders and the elbows, maybe the joints, we may find that you may not get the arms on the ground and the back of the hands on the floor. We want to aim for the back of the wrists to touch the floor. So now we're doing mountain pose lying down with the arms extended. If we were standing up, we would press the feet into the floor and take the fingertips to the ceiling. So now you're growing. Press your inner heels, outer heels, big toe mount, little toe mount. Distribute the weight evenly. Feel the sensation through your legs and take the extension all the way towards the arms, the back of the arms, the back of the wrists, the back of the hands. We're breathing in from the feet to the fingertips. Feel the expansion come towards your heart space. Keep extending through the arms. Keep pressing your feet as you exhale. And you're going to do 2 more rounds of breathing like that. So feel the elongation through the spine simply by working through the feet and the legs and the arms and the hands. Feel the spreading of the tailbone, the spreading of the pelvis, and the expansion through the side ribs. See if you can exhale through your side ribs, back ribs, and even through the back of the legs. On your next inhalation, you'll bring the arms back and bring the palms back down to the floor. Press the floor with your palms, go back to your inner heels. Keep pressing the feet. Now we maintain the left foot pressing as you put the right foot on the floor, bend the right knee. We do not want to disturb the tailbone. We want to keep the tailbone, if you should feel it on the floor. Keep working through the left foot and left leg. Take your palms to the back of your right thigh and bring the top of the thigh to the chest. Please don't lift the hips off the floor. It's very subtle. We want to maintain the space in the back body. Gentle interlock of your hands to the back of the right thigh. As you know, there's no forcing here. Simply feeling the thigh coming to the chest and softening through the abdomen. And as you press your left foot, you go back to your breath. You breathe in. And there's a different awareness on your breath now through the left leg. Find the exhalation. You're going to keep the connection of your palm to the back of your left leg. Try and keep your thigh to your chest. Take the elbows out to the sides. Can you extend your right leg to the ceiling without losing the connection of your thigh to your chest? It's very easy to straighten the leg and move the leg away from the chest, but the work is creating space in the back of your right thigh, above the knee. This is where things get tight and tense. Do not take your awareness away from the left foot, your left inner heel, and see if you can move your right inner heel to the ceiling. So whether you get a straight leg or not, that's fine. It's about the work and the feeling in your palms through what's going on in your right leg, the back of the leg. So just stay. Remember, you can always bend the knee, bring your thigh back to your chest, connect through your left foot, keep your left leg extended, connected, and straighten the leg again. So there's a little pulsing action that you can do here. You can bend the right knee, slowly does it, thigh to chest, and then find the extension through the back of the leg. It's a big muscle and needs to open. So a few more exhalations here. And see if you can roll the left inner thigh down and extend through the right inner leg. Do that again. Roll the left inner thigh down, extend through the inner right leg. Flex your foot, breathe in, exhale. Now, when I said about the yoga belt, if we had a yoga belt, we would put the belt around the sole of the right foot, and we would simply use the yoga belt, hold on to the edges, and extend into the heel. So the Pilates straps don't work because they have give. We need the belt to be steady and strong, and so we can work through the legs. So something to think about there. And then from here, bend the right knee, and if you can interlock your hands around the shin now, not the back of the thigh, without disturbing the tailbone, you draw the thigh close to your chest. You take another exhale here. And then from here, the right foot will go back to your wall and press inner thighs down. And put your palms back on your pelvis, elbows out, and exhale. Observe. Breathe in and breathe out. It's as much breathing, observation on your breath as it is practice, really bringing the body and the breath together, the movement of the limbs and the breath together. Bend the left knee, the left foot on the floor. Immediately back to the right foot, right inner heel, connecting the right leg. So awareness stays equally on the right leg, please. And then gently interlock behind the thigh, left thigh to your chest. And go back to your right heel, inner right edge of your foot, and move the right inner thigh to the floor. As you have your palms to the back of your left thigh, keep the connection thigh to chest, and then very slowly, awareness on the back of the thigh as we straighten the leg. Not forcing it to happen. There's that hamstring work here that can get very tight and heavy. Take your time. Yeah? It's not about moving the leg away from the chest and straightening the leg. We can all do that. It's about working through the muscle groups. Yeah? Feeling all that, trying to open up through all that connective tissue in the back of the leg. So just going there, creating space, taking a moment, exhaling. Always taking awareness back on your inner right foot, inner right leg, staying connected as we feel our way through the left leg. Remember, you can bend the knee, thigh back to your chest, press right foot, go again. So we're just looking for space, and through that space, We want to soften the abdomen and look for your breath. Take your time, connect thigh to chest. Again, bend the knee, and then go again. Breathing in, gently exhaling. And then we bend the left knee, interlock the hands around the shin, please. And without disturbing the tailbone, we bring the thigh to the chest. We stay still, go back to the abdomen, awareness on your breath, in case you're holding on to it. Soften through the abdomen and slowly take the left foot back to the wall. And as you press the heels into the wall, palms back on your pelvis, elbows on the floor, try and stay broad through the upper body. Take your time, feel how the legs connect to the wall, the ground. Exhale. And now both feet on the floor. And I'd like you to just press your feet. I'd like you to just press your feet. Leave your palms around the pelvis, just press your feet. When you press your feet, notice when you press your feet, does the lower belly come to the navel? Just observe, please. This is what we call the flying up of the abdomen, back and up. It's a yoga connection, it's a lock. If you do Pilates, which I know a lot of you do on this platform, it's the same concept. They will use that lifting the abdominal wall towards the navel. So you connect to your core muscles, which is talked about in Pilates. But in yoga, we talk about the 4 layers beneath the skin surface to connect to what we call the center, connect to our center, where we connect the lower triangle to the upper triangle. So if you press your feet, it's easier to connect. We lighten the load on the groins and we bring a connection to the abdomen. Very important if you want to also breathe effectively. So if you stop pressing your feet, you find that you get grounded. So there's what we call this cat-cow feeling action, where the lower belly comes to the navel without you gripping on your groins, and then you release and you bring the arch in your back. Okay? So you want to now press your feet, feel the awareness of the belly to the navel, lift the right foot up, feel the awareness of the belly to the navel, lift the left foot up, and then feel the tailbone on the floor. You can just feel it's there. Take your palms to the back of the thighs, leave the tail on the floor, bring the thighs to the chest. It's very gentle. We do not disturb the hips. You do not disturb your tailbone. You need to feel the tailbone. Very important. It's not about pressing your back into the floor. Feel the tailbone, draw the lower belly away from your thighs towards the navel, straighten the legs here, and see how you go with the back of the thighs. It's now both legs together. Slowly does it. You take those palms to the back of the legs just there, and as you move the back of the thighs into the palms, we want to take the heels to the ceiling. So there's a lot of shaking that may go on because the legs may not have the space that we need through them. There's a lot of talk about flexibility, but it's not always about flexibility and stretching. It's about creating space. You have to create the space as well. So you need to understand the back of the legs, very important. So we're not staying too long. This is again, if you had the yoga belt, it would go around the arches of the feet, and then we would working through the legs. So we do a lot with the yoga belt. Exhale, bend your knees, and just do a little circle on your tailbone to release through the lower back. And circle the other way. And then please roll to the right and slowly bring yourself up. So I'd like you to sit on a foam block, please. If you have a yoga foam block, If you don't, maybe just sit on a pillow. Well, a pillow is usually not very suitable. A folded blanket is always better than a pillow because at least it's a good fold on the blanket. But I think most of you have a foam block like this, a yoga foam block. But if not, then, if you don't have a folded blanket, then fine, a pillow. I always like to say sit on a little height, only because if you didn't have the full space in the back of the legs and you need your chair, or you need the edge of the settee. So we're going to work on straight legs again. The reason we sit a little higher and we don't sit flat is so then you don't put pressure here on the lower back. You don't want to put pressure here on the lower back. It's otherwise we're sinking a little bit. The little height just underneath the tailbone where your thighs drop to the floor helps to just bring awareness to the back of the thighs. So just sitting on something is helpful. Now, we're going to put the palms next to the hips again. Exactly what you did lying down, this is exactly what we're doing now with the legs standing up, sitting up. So now can you get the back of your thighs to the floor? So if you have a chair and you can go to your chair arms here, we can press the thighs down, it's easier. I know you can press the chair seat, but if you go to the arms a little bit higher, you can press the thighs down and you get a little more space through your back body. So try this. Now I just want you to focus on your thighs going down. Your thighs going down. So thighs going down, 2 straight legs. Think about the work you did, even though you may not have a wall, but if you can work your legs. Now, I have what they call a yoga chair, which has bars at the back, just here. Some of your chairs have a bar, I think, I'm not sure. Mine does. I tend to teach everyone that works with me through this system of the Iyengar practice, and they all have these chairs, that we can use the bars for our feet. It's like having the feet against the wall. You have something to touch on. Otherwise, you can work with the wall too, where you can take your feet underneath your chair and the chair is against the wall and your feet are touching the wall. You can even do that. Or you have your chair against the edge of the settee and you press your feet through the chair and you're still having your feet touching the settee. So there are options. You don't need a bar. You can actually take your feet through a chair and have your feet still touching the wall. So it all works really well. Yeah. So some of you are adjusting, which is good to see. Because if you can get connected through the soles of your feet, you know for sure you're working those legs evenly. Otherwise, one is always going to take over, and then what's going to happen is the pelvis is going to go off a little bit. So try and work as evenly as possible, even when we're seated, as we do when we're standing. Yeah, just sit right on the edge of your support, don't sit into the middle. There you go. Now hands on the chair seat, and we're just going to sit up, thighs down. So focus on thighs down, heels to the wall or your support, and go ahead. See if you can breathe into your abdomen, through the sides, just stay low and exhale. So you can breathe in through your nose, out of your nose. You can breathe in through your nose, out of your mouth. I don't want you to get stuck around the throat. And if for any reason nasal breathing is challenging, go ahead and just see if you can breathe in through your mouth, gentle and out. We don't need to hear the breath. You don't need to overdo it on the breath. I know some people teach that very, what they call audible sound breathing. It's called ujjayi, where we're really hearing the breath, but we use that when we're doing quite a strong moving practice. Here, it's just feeling it. Feel the air through the nose, coming up the nose. Take your time. Now you want to bring the chest forward. You can take your forearms on the seat. The legs are still working, they're on charge, you can feel them. You can make the forearms horizontal along the edge of the seat. You can bring the seat closer and rest your forehead. When you rest your forehead, you have to come to the hairline. because then if you come to the hairline and not too close to your eyebrows, then you know that you're not putting any tension on your neck. So you roll, you come towards your hairline for your forward bend on a seated on the chair. And then you need to go back low around the abdomen and do some breathing. If you're using the arms on the chair, have your elbows resting as well, your forearms. So it's a full supported resting pillow. So you've just got one forearm in front of the other. That's it. And take the breath into your back body. See if you can breathe into the back and slow exhale out of the back. And very slowly take it in. Please come up. Now we're going to do a little more on the hips. So we bend the left knee. We do what we did earlier. Lying down, we bring the thigh to the chest first. And you sit tall. So as you bend the left knee and you press your foot into the floor, just feel that connection again to the abdomen, important. That's it, be there. And can you take that foot? So the foot goes across the straight leg thigh. Cross it over. Now, I'd like you to see if you can take your thigh. I'm going to turn around and show you. Can you take your thigh? You say as you are, because we'll use the chair. Can you take your knee and your thigh over the straight leg thigh? You have to cross it. So you have to lift your hips up and sit into it. It may not go down. You see? So you sit up a little bit. There you go. So we don't want it to go on the knee. We do want it to cross. We can hold on to the ankle of the bent leg with your other hand like this. Hold on. Yeah, this is why I said sit a little higher so you don't feel like you're sinking into the ground. Now, it may not go across. It may not sit on the straight leg thigh. If you want to put a pillow here, a little pillow to support this gap, you can. You can, yeah? And you're holding onto the ankle, you're sitting up. Sitting up, there you go. And feel the opening in the glute here and the extension through this bent knee glute. You take the bent knee arm on the chair and you rest your forehead and you exhale. If you can, release the other arm on the chair, you rest your forehead and you exhale. And what this is going to do is going to open up the back of the straight leg even more into the ground. You're going to get more awareness in the back of that thigh because the weight of the bent knee on the straight leg is going to open that up for you. Take your time. There should be no sharp pain on your knee. Don't struggle. Put the hands on the chair. It's so much easier. Once you've got the bent knee action, you can just take at least the bent knee arm on the chair. Don't push yourself to come forward, just stay with the breath. And then again, just slowly breathing in and breathing out. Don't force anything to happen around the hip joint or the groin. You're going to try and descend the bent knee onto the straight leg. Feel the weight on the back of that straight leg. Feel the straight leg opening up into the ground. Do one more exhale, soften through the belly. And then take an inhale. Uncross. So again, when you straighten both legs and you just for a moment go back over your chair, you'll notice, I'm hoping, just straighten both legs, just take your arms on the seat, exhale. I'm hoping you'll notice just where you did that bent knee action, that leg's gone further into the ground. When you come through the hip, you'll get more opening through the leg. Just want you to notice if that happened for you. And then soften the abdomen and exhale. And we go to the other leg, bend the knee, foot firmly on the floor. You sit up, that's it. Take your time. And then we pick the foot up. If you're ready, cross. You want to come on top of, away from the knee. Don't be resting on the straight leg knee. So as we cross, if the hip is tight, of course, it's about getting movement through the hip. So take your time, and both sides can be quite different. If it's challenging, you need to sit a little higher to do it. You need more support underneath your tailbone. If you sit higher, you'll be able to cross better. This is why we take height underneath our seat. You'll cross better. Because ideally we want that knee and the thigh down. Okay, hold on to the bent knee ankle with the other hand. And then see if we can extend the arm over the chair and stay there for a moment. As the straight leg gets a little more grounded, take your time, that's it. Exhale, and we're not forcing anything to happen. There you go. Bring softness through the abdomen. If you can release the other arm forward, then both arms go forward. You just really want to get weight into the straight leg. Don't shy away from raising your seat and sitting higher to come forward better and feel the release around the hip where you're bending the knee. It does help. You should be with your breath. Exhale completely. And very slowly unwind. And just sit again with straight legs and feel how the legs feel. And then bring your hands back on the chair again and extend forward. And extend forward. And just by bending the knees and working through some bent knee work, we can feel a little more extension through the legs. And go back to your breath. And then take an inhale and please come up. And now bend the right knee again. Bring your shin, your foot closer to the right hip. Take your right hand behind you and extend the left arm straight up. So you have to lean back quite a lot because you want to bring that left side waist over the thigh and just do a simple turn. You connect the arm outside the right knee. And then you bring your chest back. If you can bend the elbow, you bend the elbow, but please don't force yourself to bend the elbow. You can keep a straight arm here. If you have a chair and you're close to the chair, you can also hold on to the chair. It's quite helpful to work with the chair because you can really use the chair to gain more access to the back body. That's quite helpful. So you can pull on the chair leg there and get the turn, or we can sit and bend the knee and get the turn. There's lots of ways you can move over to the side of the chair a little bit and you can grab the chair leg. It's quite nice because then you get seated, you get this lift through the spine. You need to take a breath in. Try and exhale through the pelvis. And release. And then the other side. So straighten that right knee, the leg. And again, just that simple thing would have dropped that hip a little further towards into the ground. Bend the left knee close. And then with the left hand, you go back. You go back, you create the space between the chest and your thigh. That's it. Left arm up. So you can bring, right arm up. So you can bring the right side round and you can connect to your thighs. Already, it helps for you to come up and forward, bend the knee. The foot is on the floor. It hasn't crossed over, by the way. The foot is on the floor in line with the hip. You didn't cross it over. You just bent the knee and put the foot on the floor. So it didn't go across the leg. Yeah. It's just on the floor. And then connect the outer right arm outside the left knee. And again, if you want to hold on to the chair leg is there. You get a nice pull and you can sit yourself up. That's it. Bring your chest back to your thighs. So you're sitting up now. We leaned back to get the space. Now you have to bring yourself forward. That's it. And you can walk the back hand in a little more and sit up. So sit yourself up and connect chest to your thigh. That's it. If you want to bend the elbow, you bend the elbow, or you keep the arm straight, either or. It's about getting the turn from your mid-back into your upper back. You're going into your breath. Use your breath. Breathe in. And you need to exhale through the compression around the abdomen, connected to the thigh. And then you press your feet into the chair again. And hopefully, with a little more space in the back body, you can pull on the chair arms, take your hairline towards your chair seat, move your upper inner thighs down, and simply rest your forehead on the chair, long, deep breathing into your back. Thighs down. Just stay still. Take yourself now completely to your breath. Explore your breath again. Maybe inhale mouth, exhale mouth, or change it. Don't battle to come forward. Think more about the arms taking you forward so the chest opens. Take yourself to your abdomen. No gripping or holding. Come away from that wanting to control anything. Let the breath take over. And slowly inhale, bring yourself up. Bend your knees, scoop yourself as close as you can to your chair, and rest the tailbone on the floor. So you go close to the chair for your settee, your calves on top of the chair, and you lie yourself down. So ensure the calves are on the chair and your thigh bones drop down. Your tailbone is nice and heavy. Scoop a little closer so you get a good drop, and then you're going back to resting the lower back, mid back, upper back on the floor, please. Socks are a good idea, aren't they? Chilly mornings. Settle down. Rest well, have head support. Go a little closer with your tailbone to the chair so you have a nice drop and lie down. And rest. Just rest. Okay, so resting, back on the floor, head on the floor. Take your time. You can have your palms on your abdomen. Again, follow the expansion of your inhalation and the release and the softening of the abdomen on the exhalation. No forcing the breath to happen now, no controlling it. Simple observation on the natural rhythm of your own breathing pattern. Thank you for practicing, ladies. Have a wonderful week ahead. Namaste.